Welcome everyone to this episode of the AskJasonGelios show. I'm Jason Gelios, Michigan Realtor. For those of you who aren't familiar, this is a great episode. I get asked this question a lot about joint loans. What happens if I co-sign? How does this work? Do I have to live in the home? And so I wanted to touch on this topic. And so first off, what is a joint loan? Okay, a joint loan gives co-borrowers equal access to the loan and shared responsibility for paying it back. Many times a cosigner has a problem with that. They think, well, I just want to help them by cosigning. Let's say they're helping out their kid or whomever, a family member, and they're like, but I don't want to be responsible for it. But you are when you sign on for that debt. That's why the risk goes down. You have somebody that has perfect credit and they're a cosigner and they're helping out someone who doesn't have not so good credit. What happens is they become on the hook should that person with not so good credit pay the loan back. So make sure that if you're considering becoming a cosigner that you are aware of that, okay? So you have a co-borrower, okay? And then you have a borrower and a co-borrower. So let's say parent cosigns, becomes a co-borrower for their kid who is getting a first car or whatnot. Although they would have to be 18, but they're on the hook, but they also share ownership. So let's say your kid doesn't pay for that car, you as a parent, take it away from them, although they have shared ownership if they're 18. Now, mortgages and auto loans are commonly joint loans, but you can also get a joint personal loan or a joint installment loan where it's a set term, you just want to pay back something or whatnot. Those are actually a good thing. But you can get a better option on a loan if you have a cosigner. Let's say your credit's not so bad, like I mentioned earlier. What happens is your credit's here, your co-borrower's credit is here. They pull you up into a better bracket, a better interest rate or whatnot. Probably still not the best that's available, but a lot better than what you would get with your not so good credit. Okay, so now there's a couple different things. Okay, there's a difference between a co-borrower and a co-signer. Now, a co-borrower, their name is on the loan agreement or title of whatever you're purchasing, right? A title would be attached to a vehicle, a RV, whatever the case, right? Four-wheeler. They share access to the loan money and they're equally responsible for loan repayment. Now, a co-signer means they lend their good credit, they have no right to the loan money, and they must repay the loan if the main signer can't. The main borrower can't pay it, they have to repay it. They're on the hook. So how do you get a joint loan? How do you go about having two people or more, I've seen more, get a joint loan? And so one, you gotta check eligibility requirements. You gotta speak with multiple lenders, right? And just say, hey, which one's the best? Pay attention to the requirements that they have for your credit score, as well as what's called debt to income requirements, which is your gross monthly debt. That's on your credit report, and then your gross monthly income before Uncle Sam takes their portion, okay? Most lenders like you to have a credit score of about 600 or higher, most of them, and they like your debt to income or DTI percentage to be 40% or less. I've seen lenders especially when you're purchasing a home, they'll go up a little bit higher, but they like 40% or less. Another one is you pre-qualify with multiple lenders. So you get qualified, not approved, qualified, meaning they haven't run your credit, you're just getting an idea, okay? What would, if I was in this range, lender A or lender B, lender C, okay, what would you offer me? To where a pre-approval means they've actually pulled your credit and looked at your income documents. Third one, just compare lenders and apply. Which one do you have a better feel, and just apply and see what they offer you. And the last one here on how to get a joint loan is actually applying for the loan. You'll have the option to add the co-borrower to the loan application. This is a great thing, by the way, too, because a great step here is that you can apply on your own. Maybe you have some reservations, some doubt about whether or not your credit score will qualify. And if not, the lender can always add on a co-borrower, okay? So once you confirm all the details of the application, the lender will do what's called a hard credit check. It's not bad, it just says the term hard credit check, meaning they actually look at it, okay? And then they will temporarily dip your credit score, okay? But it's temporary. And if you do these things, if you have multiple lenders pull your credit report, do a hard credit check, what'll happen is your credit reporting agencies will know that you're shopping and you're not just going nuts, okay? So with that said, I want to show you something else too. So how do joint loans affect your credit score? Two people on a loan, whether it's a collateral loan like a mortgage or a vehicle loan or an unsecured loan, where there's no collateral. A joint loan will show up on your and your co-borrower's credit reports and all loan activities. So, two people sign for a joint loan. One is in charge of actually making the payments, right? But they're both on the hook. They don't make a payment within 30 days. That shows up on both credit reports. Kind of sucks, but that's what happens, okay? On-time payments, however, responsible payments made will actually increase your score for both people. So that's a positive, okay? So as you know, or you may have known, for those who have watched my past videos, I like to do pros and cons of things, right? Take a topic that I've been asked and just pros and cons. So here's some pros of joint loans. One, you increase your chance of qualifying and you get a better option, like I mentioned earlier. Better option, better chance of qualifying. Two, you share the cost of repaying, which isn't terrible, by the way, because if done right, it can make it less risk for both people. You're two people in charge of one loan, one payment can actually be a good thing. You have backup, right? As long as you're responsible with it and not messing over the other person. So, two cons, here's some here's some cons. One, you could be on the hook for the entire loan. If a co-borrower or primary borrower doesn't pay, guess what? You're on the hook for that whole amount. So if you sign for, let's say, a $100,000 loan, doesn't matter if the other person stopped paying, or it does matter, but it doesn't matter to the lender because they're going to come after both of you and you're on the hook for paying that back regardless. Another con of a joint loan is that the potential for credit score dips. If they don't make a payment on time, you as a co-borrower will feel that hit on your credit report. And another one is it could lead to a damaged relationship. This one is probably more common, and that's when you involve money and friends, money and family, it can get weird. And I've seen this in real estate, but it can get weird. You do something wrong, you affect your co-borrower's credit, that's gonna be ugly. That's gonna be a very awkward Thanksgiving. So, I'm just saying, right? It can damage a relationship. Now, I'd love to read your thoughts on this topic. Have you ever co-signed for a loan? Have you done a joint loan? Did you get screwed when you co-signed for a loan? All right, what happened? Share those thoughts in the comments. And I invite you to follow me on social media. Those links are in the description as well as my websites. I really appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time.